Powell toes the nail for Carolina. Powell toes the nail for Carolina, trying to make it a 19-point Tar Heels lead here in the second half. Bends the knees, fires his second free throw. It rattles down. 57-38 Carolina. They lead now by 19 with 14:37 remaining here in the second half. Bounce pass into Cook. Cook, a little full court pressure from the heel. Swings the pass over to Zerlini. Zerlini right down Broadway. Shovels for Yao. Intercepted by Cade Tyson. Tyson got right in between the passing lanes and flicks it over to Davis. Davis now at the Tar Heels free throw line. Right hand swing pass over to Jackson. He'll hoist a triple. Off the heel. Rebound claimed by Zerlini. Skip pass ahead to Dorsey. One hand whip pass to Yao. Swooping in for the right hand layup is Israel Yao. Nice job in transition. They caught the Heels asleep at the wheel. Here's Powell on the far corner. Drives baseline and a blocking foul here from Caleb Zerlini. That's Zerlini's third personal and the third for Campbell in the half. Not in the bonus are the Tar Heels. It'll just be a baseline inbounds for Carolina. Nice job in transition by Campbell. Dorsey with an excellent pass ahead to Israel Yao to get his first 2 points of the ball game. A nice job adjusting in midair too from Yao, getting in the right-hand layup. It's a 17-point North Carolina lead, just over 14 minutes here in the second half. They're wiping off the hardwood, some sweat from the back of Zerlini when he hit the deck, a little residue. Davis will be the inbounder here for Carolina. Ty Claude's in the ballgame as well as Powell, Jackson, and Tyson. Davis at the controls, bounce passes it into Powell, who's going to hand it right back to Davis. Davis near the right channel, Zerlini on him. Zerlini about a step in front of the three-point line. Davis is going to step back, try a long three-pointer off the left side of the rim. Rebound fought for, and it's going to be a loose ball foul here on Ty Claude, a little overzealous on the rebound attempt. So just under 14 minutes now, Carolina goes one and done on their possession, and the Camels will try to get a bucket. They trail by 17. This is a game that was played within a 10-point window in the first half. All of a sudden, Carolina has blown it open. Here come the Camels. Zerlini, top of the key, fires for Dorsey, guarded by Jackson. He's going to go left-hand pass over to Cook. Cook here, guarded by Tyson. This is the matchup they want. Tyson, though, doing a nice job maneuvering over the screen, tailgating Cook. He's going to reset over to Zerlini. Zerlini will put it on the deck near the right block, fades, fires a 7-footer well off. The ball caroms out of bounds. It'll belong to the Tar Heels. Nice job there by Ian Jackson, able to fight it off the hands of Yao, and the Tar Heels will control. Hubert Davis will go to his bench here. Elliot Cadeau will come in, as well as Jalen Washington. Ian Jackson, who got his first start of the season, will sit down, and Ty Claude will also go to the bench. For the Camels, Max Duggan, their leading scorer, will enter the game. Little full court pressure here for the Camels, not to bother RJ Davis. He'll take care of this pretty smoothly as he trots it across the timeline. Duggan is in. He has 20 of these 40 Camel points. Here's Davis from the left wing, looking to set up a play here. Jalen Washington is going to come set him a screen. With the right hand, swings it over to Powell. Powell jab step, drives to the free throw line, kicks to Cadeau. Extra pass to Davis. Davis from the sniper's nest, rattles in the triple. It's a 20-point Carolina lead. RJ Davis now has 16 on the night, and it's all Carolina here in the second half. 13 minutes remaining here in the Dean Dome. Cook over to Dorsey, back to Cook. He needs a bucket badly. Spinning, fading, firing, and flipping, and missing. Rebound claimed by Davis. One-hand whip pass over to Cadeau. Swings cross-court to Powell. Bounces it on the deck for Tyson. He's got a chance for a layup off the glass and in. Cade Tyson makes it a 22-point Tar Heels lead. It's all Carolina here at the Dean Dome. The Camels are going to call timeout. Here come the Tar Heels. They have blown it open here with 12:36 in the second half. A 22-point Heels lead.
Here's Alex Chamberlain, the designated hitter, went 1 for 4 last night, and this is a guy who sits in the lineup littered with 300 hitters. You have a Goonie with a 378 average, then Gonzalez 333, Chamberlain here 370, behind him Singleton 336, Padron 388. I can keep going, Gilbert. There's a lot of good batters as Santulli will start off Chamberlain with the strike.
And that makes it so dangerous. The deeper that the lineup is, the more pressure they can produce, especially later in that lineup. But Dante coming out, and he's looking so much more like his usual self.
Nothing in 2 after a looping curveball from Dante. He's looked very confident on the mound. His starts have been good. It's kind of the 3rd and 4th inning that have been his struggle. Pulls a slider off the plate. It's 1 and 2, and I think that's Some players have an issue settling into ball games. Santulli has no trouble with that. For him, it's kind of later in the innings. I think that's just him being stretched out. His arm, normally out of the pen, is a lot more solid. As a starter, it's been a little bit rough as the game drags on. Here's a grounder up the middle of the diamond, and it's going to skip into the outfield. Gonzaga couldn't cut it off, and there's a leadoff single for Alex Chamberlain. And if Brandon Gonzaga can't get it, it's normally a good piece of hitting. Chamberlain gets the first hit for the Honkers, and here's the lefty Jordan Singleton. Singleton, the leader in home runs and RBIs for this team, takes a strike in at the knees. It was a perfectly placed pitch there from Santulli. If they had kind of the rectangle strike zone pointed up, it would have been right in that lower right box and perfectly placed. Nice pitch from Dante. It was the heater. Singleton went 0 for 3 yesterday, but he did work a walk, and he is the team leader in walks. So a guy who gets on base in multitude of ways. Santulli heads home. Singleton squares for a bunt, then pulls back 1-1.
Whoa. Churchill wanted that strike on the outside corner. Couldn't quite pull it back to the heart of the zone. But Dante's executing nicely here. He looks really sharp.
Dante with a lot of moxie. The right-hander heads over to first to check the runner. In there safely is Chamberlain. A lot of moxie for the righty. He has just a lot of drip is what the kids call it, but a good way that he carries himself, walks around the mound like a professional, and goes about his work like a professional. 1-1 here from Santulli is in there for a strike. Singleton doesn't like the call. He's going to take time. Gary Coy calling balls and strikes behind the plate. Tom Denholm over at third, and Chris Castro over at first. The sun is out over Mel Olson. Santulli now the only infielder along with Jacob Moyer in the shade. The rest of the field is littered in the sun. It's a beautiful day, and we're on time for a 6:52 start. Santulli goes in, and it's called strike 3. Singleton goes down looking, and there's the second K of the day for Dante.
Dante's been just so good in the strikeouts. He's got 27 now across 18.1 innings pitched. That strikeout rate is ridiculous, and his stuff is just biting, dodging, ducking, and overall fantastic.
Not enough adjectives to describe it. Dante, 34% strikeout percentage, only a 9% walk percentage as he starts off Padron with a strike. Time and temp here at 6:52. We were perfectly on time for our 6:35 start. The weather 72 degrees. It's only going to get a little bit cooler, dropping about 68 degrees as we'll get to the latter innings. Here's Cameron Padron, 0 for 3 yesterday as they're going to check the runner again.
I love that pickoff from Dante. A lot of guys step off the rubber and kind of flip it over there, but looks like he's doing a dry rep over there to first. Follows through, throws straight to the glove, and it's always on the money.
The first baseman's a lefty, and he's going to swing at the 0-1 pitch. It's grounded over to Gonzaga. Goes to Aikawa for one. The stretch over to first in time. 6-4-3. And the Fish Sticks do some twin killing to end the top of the second. These bats are trying to get hot. We'll see them here in the bottom. Armbruster escaped a jam in the first. Let's see if he can work a more conventional inning here in the second. The Fish Sticks in Game 2 of this series, and also in Game 2 of a 10-game stretch that is 10 games over the course of 11 days. We saw them do this last month where they played as many games in the same amount of days as here. Brandon Gonzaga looks at a strike, but this just a lot of baseball. Kribbe said the big thing about this stretch is get ready to see a lot of different pitchers. The arms are going to come in the plentyfold. There are going to be a lot of new pitchers, and maybe some guys you haven't even seen pitch might go out there and get some innings.
And that's really important, especially later into this season. You've got guys like Hodina and Kyler Saunders who have pitched so much to start the year. They're getting tired. We saw Caden kind of wear out his last start. So getting some other guys like Levi and
0-2 is up and in to Brandon Gonzaga's head. He ducks out of the way. Now 1-2.
Galvin was the name I was looking for. Levi Grothin, Patrick Galvin, guys like that who we don't get to see too much. It'll be good to see those guys throw.
Gonzaga, a guy who walks a lot. He doesn't hit too much, just a 245 average, but 415 on base percentage. 4 strikeouts to 11 walks. That's a good K to walk ratio for anyone listening. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He also doesn't strike out just too often. Is the ball there? Is off the plate, 2-2. High contact percentage, 92% of the time he's going to put wood on the ball.
Brandon, great hand-eye coordination. That's why we see him out there at shortstop. So smooth, good contact hitter. Reminds me of Stephen Kwan almost.
Good comparison. 2-2. Gonzaga goes fishing, though, this time. A rare strikeout for the shortstop, and there's the first out of the second inning. Another strikeout swinging, though it's back-to-back, stretching back to last inning for Armbruster. Here's Jacob Moyer. We don't see Moyer too often in the starting role, but today he gets the nod over in first base. Did not play yesterday, and the righty will lumber in for his first at-bat here against these Honkers. First pitch to Moyer, waves and misses, and Armbruster looks a lot more settled in here in the second.
He does. I like that swing from Moyer, though. Oftentimes we've seen him strike out looking. I like to see him pulling the trigger and feel himself swing that bat in the box.
Oh, one Moyer swings and misses again. Moyer out of Bothell, Washington, 6'3", 230 pounds. He has a big frame there in that right-hand box. He's a good batter if you can get some runners on. We saw him obviously at the start of the year hit that grand slam, and that was really a start of a small uptick before he resettled. 0-2, checks his motion. Did he go around? They're going to say no, safe. 1-2 now.
You could see the catcher, Jordan Singleton, he was throwing it down to third like that was strike three. Kind of a show him up kind of a thing to do.
Herrera on deck. Here's the 1-2. Moyer lifts one high in the infield. Might be playable here for Padron. He's near the Fish Sticks dugout, and it's going to bang off the roof of Mel Olson instead. So Moyer will get another crack at it. The Fish Sticks are coming off over 700 miles traveling, playing a traveling back-to-back. 2 days ago, they played a game in Springfield, Oregon, and then traveled all the way up to Port Angeles. They won both of those West Coast League games, and Kribbe was just very proud of his team. He said winning while doing that much traveling is a very hard thing to do. Here's the 1-2 to Moyer, fouls it off. He'll see it again. He says, just have to stay so focused during that stretch. Everything has to kind of go right. You got to like your teammates to do that. You got to be able to travel well, sleep together well, and he just said all of that was really a good concoction of winning. And he was very proud. I don't think he was too happy about the loss last night, but he'll live with it. There's another swinging strikeout. That's 3 in a row for Armbruster, and Moyer's down. Here's the 9-hole hitter, Liam Herrera.
It's a tough schedule for these Fish Sticks.
Herrera takes a ball off the plate. Slim numbers from Liam, just a 182 batting average. 1 ball, no strikes now. Herrera's second pitch is in at his hips. It's a ball, 2-0. There's 2 away here. We're in the bottom of the second. No score at the Friar. And while it is hard to travel in those teams, the Fish Sticks are one of the only teams doing that in the Pacific International. They're playing these West Coast League games up in Wenatchee, Port Angeles, Springfield, and all of that's an effort to maybe get bumped up to that league. Herrera grounds one over to third. It's going to scoop by Gonzalez. He made a diving effort, but Herrera rounding first, now heading for second as that ball pins up in the corner. And he's got a 2-out double. Herrera finally gets to some hitting action in the third baseman. Sits on second, and here's Tristan Beering with 2 outs.
Love to see that from Liam Herrera. Nice swing. Poked it past his opposing third baseman and Gonzalez over there. Tough play on the backhand. Couldn't quite rein it in. And now it'll be TJ Beering here to swing it for the Sticks, and we'll see what he can do.
Beering, excellent numbers. He is just a tip-top center fielder. 382 average, 441 slug, 481 on base. He already had a single today in the first and a stolen base. Cracks one high into center field. Moser ranging back in the ballpark's going to hold this one. That's the final out. So after the 2-out double, the Fish Sticks can't capitalize, and Armbruster gets 2 more strikeouts and a 0 on the scoreboard. Let's go to the top of the third.